Dear students of 10A and 10B, the points mentioned in the board, you please look at it. Election for the Vice President, his oath of office, his term of office, his powers and functions, his role as an acting president. The first point I am going to explain: election for the Vice President. You know, Vice President is elected through an electoral college, and this electoral college consists of the members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. That means both the members of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, both the members of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha elect a person as the Vice President of India. Now, this election, the election for Vice President, is held through the system of proportional representation by means of the single transferable vote. And this election, and apart from this election, whenever the election for the Vice President is held, some requirements are there for fulfilling the demand as for being the Vice President of India. Now, what are the requirements? What are the requirements for the election of the Vice President of India? Now I am going to discuss what are the requirements for the Vice President of India. There are certain requirements, like, as I told you earlier, that the members of the Lok Sabha and the members of the Rajya Sabha, by casting their votes, elect a person as the Viceroy of India. But at the same time, it is also important the proposals of 20 electors or MPs. That means each nomination paper should be proposed. That means for being the Vice President of India, a number of nomination papers are filed, because 2 or 3 candidates, 4 candidates may be there for contesting the election for Vice President. But each nomination paper should be proposed by at least 20 MPs or 20 proposers, 20 MPs or 20 electors means MPs, Member of Parliament, and 20 senders, another 20 electors required in the same way. So, at present, while conducting the election for Vice President, each nomination paper should be proposed by 20 MPs and 20 seconders, 20 electors, 20 proposers and 20 seconders. But earlier this system was not there. Earlier, what was about the system? Earlier, for the election of Vice President, 5 proposers and 5 senders were required. For each nomination paper, there should be proposals from 5 proposers. There should be proposals from 5 MPs and 5 senders. Means 5 proposers would be there, and 5 senders would be there. But now the system is changed. Now, how many proposers are there and how many seconders are there? at present for the election of vice president, there should be 20 proposers and 20 seconders required for each nomination. And next one, oath of office. His oath of office. Before entering his office, the vice president is supposed to take his office, and in that case, he has to appear before the President of India, or in absence of President, one person is appointed by the President on behalf of him. In front of him, the Vice President has to take his oath. Now, what type of oath the Vice President takes? Number one, bear truth, faith and allegiance to Constitution of India. And number two, faithfully discharge his duties. The Vice President has to take an oath by saying it that he is promising that he would shoulder all responsibilities of the country of India as a responsible person of the Constitution, and he would faithfully discharge his duties and responsibilities. He would be always truthful to the Constitution of India. He would always bear to the Constitution of India on being truthful, faithful and allegiant to the Constitution of India. So these are the oaths the Vice President has to take before entering his office. And next point, his powers, his term of office. Next point, his term of office. The Vice President shall hold 5 years. The Vice President shall hold for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. The Vice President's term is about 5 years. From the time when he enters upon his office. And second point, he may, by writing a resignation letter, he may by writing or by addressing to the President resign his office. And in that case, the resignation letter, which has to be submitted by him to the President, President submits his resignation letter to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. And same case also is applicable to the case of the President, because when the President likes to resign, he has to write a resignation letter and submit it to the Vice President, according to which the Vice President sends it to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. So both of these two persons, the President and the Vice President, shoulder the same type of responsibilities at the time of the resignations of both of them. And the next one, another thing is that the Vice President can be removed from his office. How? If any charge is brought against his name, which is known as the proposal of impeachment. If any proposal of impeachment is brought against the name of Vice President, and the Vice President is given one chance to prove whether the allegations brought against his name is right or wrong. In that case, Vice President has to prove whether the allegations brought against his name is right or wrong. If he is able to prove it to be wrong, in that case, Vice President will continue his office, and he no need to resign, or there would be no scope for his removal. But if the Vice President fails to prove that the allegations whatever has been brought against his name is true. If he fails to prove his truthfulness, in that case, the proposal for impeachment, the proposal of impeachment would be accepted, and Vice President has to resign, or he would be removed from his office. So by this way, the Vice President is removed from his office. The next one, he shall continue to hold his office notwithstanding the expiry of his term. That means whenever the term of office for Vice President of about 5 years completes, the Vice President has to get his office vacant, and otherwise the Vice President would be removed from his office. And next point, another point I have to include in it, the Vice President, after the expiry of his term, can continue his work as the Vice President of India until a new Vice President is appointed. Until a new Vice President is appointed as the Vice President of India, he may continue his work after the term of his expiry. Okay, after the term of expiry is over, the Vice President can continue his work until a new Vice President is elected. So these are the terms of office of the Vice President of India. Next point, his powers and functions. The Vice President, is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The Vice President is the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. As the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, the Vice President also is the ex-officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. That means Vice President is the ex-officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and in this capacity, Vice President regulates debates and discussions in the House. The Vice President regulates debates and discussions in the Rajya Sabha and decides the order of speeches. He decides the admissibility of a resolution or of questions. He may suspend or adjourn the business of the House in case of grave disorder. Apart from this, the Vice President issues directions to the chairman of various committees, the Vice President in all matters relating to their work. That means the Vice President issues directions to the chairman of various committees. The Vice President can adjourn the House if any kind of act of misery is done by the members of the House. The Vice President allows the members to ask questions. The Vice President can make any person. The Vice President can make any member of the House stop for raising unnecessary questions, and the Vice President, by this way, he directs the entire system of debates and discussions in the Rajya Sabha or in the House. Another point that is also an important part of work of the Vice President, that is, the Vice President gets no salary. The Vice President gets no salary as he is the Vice President. Whatever is paid to him is only in the capacity of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha. The Vice President get no salary as Vice President. As the Vice President of India, the Vice President gets no salary, but a little amount of salary he is paid in the capacity of the ex-officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. In his absence, the deputy chairman, who is elected by the members of the Rajya Sabha, heads the Rajya Sabha. That means one deputy chairman also is elected by the members of the Rajya Sabha. By the members of the Rajya Sabha. What is the work of the deputy chairman? To keep and control the debates and discussions in the House in absence of the Vice President. And this deputy chairman is elected to shoulder some responsibilities of the Vice President during his absence, just like the Vice President shoulders responsibilities of the President during his absence. In a similar way, the deputy chairman shoulders the responsibilities of the Vice President during the period he goes abroad for an official tour, or he feels he feels loneliness and take rest for few days, or he has been suffering from diseases due to his illness. The deputy chairman acts as the Vice President of India. Now, next point, his role as the acting president. As an acting president, what role usually the Vice President plays? Now I am going to discuss. During the death of the President, the Vice President becomes the President of India and looks after the work until a new President is being elected. At the time of the resignation of the President, the Vice President shoulders the responsibilities and takes over the office of the President. And next one, removal of the President. Suppose some allegations has been brought against the name of the President, and the President is removed from his office by the proposal of impeachment. In that case, the Vice President takes over the charge of the office of the President. And next one, when the President is unable to discharge his functions, owing to absence, owing to illness, or owing to any other cause, the Vice President takes over the charge of the office of the President. And in the event of President's death, resignation or removal, the Vice President acts as the new President. The Vice President acts until a new President is elected. This is unlike the Vice President of the USA, who becomes the President for the remaining term of the office. This is unlike the Vice President of the USA, who becomes the President for the remaining term of the office. For the remaining term of the office, he becomes the President. And in our country, India, the Vice President can become the President of India fully for full term. President of India for full term, if the Vice President gets complete his term or tenure, and the President also gets his term over. In that case, the Vice President can become the President of India. For example, our second Vice President, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, he became the President of India. Who is the first President of India? Who is the first President of India, of independent India? Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first President of India. And who was the second President of India? Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan became the second President of India. But the time when Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the President, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan became the Vice President. And after having completed his tenure, he became the President of India, who one of the greatest personalities of India, the great teacher of our country, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan became the second president of India. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.